So this is part two. I remember I was telling y'all last time that I was going to work on the coupler, whatever you want to call it. And so here it is. It's not very pretty, but it's there. So this, like I said last time, is the spline that was on the crank. And then the two couplers I showed you last time, 7/8 coupler and a 3/4 coupler. Well, I was just going to use these set screws, but to be safe and on the safe side, I just went ahead and put 3 little tacks around that spline. If it breaks, then I'll go ahead and weld it up. But basically, like I said, that spline's down on there, good fit. And that is going to be the spline for that goes up to the motor. So what I've done since then is I've made this plate. It goes over top of the shaft and like that. And I got some bolts that go through this plate and go all the way through to the bottom side. Hang on, I'll show you. To the bottom side of the boat motor, and you can see that plate comes off at the top, and I don't want this to come off because when that comes off, my shifter's not going to be able to work. So I did that, and basically what I'm going to do, as you can see, they're a little too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up until about right there, and I'm going to take my welder and I'm going to weld around this nut right in here. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to create a stud on the bottom of the motor. So when I want to take this plate off, I just undo the nuts on the bottom of it and pull this plate off. Well, this is going to go there, no issues with clearance. I mean, you can tell that it's not going to touch that plate ever. And then off of this, I bought some I think this is like maybe half like sucker rod type material, and this is going to go from the base to the mounting points. From that, since I don't have a big enough piece of metal on the bottom of the engine, I just took, dropping shit, I just took and built these two piece of angle. I think they're about 1/4 inch thick, I don't know. And that bolt hole goes and lines up with that. That bolt hole lines up with the threaded shank inside the motor. That's going to be like that. And this one is going to go from this side. That was holding up my motor, but anyways, it's going to go from this side. And there's no oil or gas in this motor right now, so it's not going to hurt it. It's going to go from this bolt hole to that bolt hole, and I'll go off of the base, and I may put a plate across, another piece of angle across here, and maybe when I get everything bolted up on the bottom, run another piece across here. I'm not sure yet, but I might do that. And then those are going to get attached to the base over here with basically this sucker rod. And I got 2 other bolts that are going to go up here, but feel free to ask questions. Ask me how I did stuff. To build this plate, I took a piece of plate that fit. I cut it to fit in here, and I squared it up where I wanted it. I had to drill this hole prior, so that's why it's not exactly centered, but that doesn't matter. But basically, I took spray paint and painted through these holes on all 6 spots, so that on the bottom of this plate right here, it had 6 matching holes, and I just center punched them and then drilled the holes out, and so far so good. It's worked pretty damn solid. I mean, when this gets bolted down, this is not going to move. And really the whole purpose of this and the mounts on the motor over there are to keep the motor from spinning. A lot of the weight's going to be held up by this. I mean, that's not the best way to do it, but it's how it's going to be. But a lot of it is going to be held up by just some of the sucker rod coming up and pushing it up off of this just a tad bit, so that all the weight doesn't go in there. On the for this, I got a bike deal. I'm gonna take this off, put a solid shaft in there, and run it out probably another 4 inches longer, and put a bicycle brake on it. But that's it for part 2. Feel free, like I said, like, subscribe. Just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be willing to answer them. Thank you.